Hey, hey, hey. We some pretty dope chicks with conversation, hot topics. For those relating, it's a pretty dope conversation.
It's your girl Shay Means, and I'm here with my girl
D-Mac.
and we are a pretty dope conversation. So we did a premiere today. We did a premiere, pretty dope conversation premiere. We did Gays and God.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, a lot of you guys do not like to like or even acknowledge that you've seen the post, but I do appreciate you guys going on YouTube and actually watching it, whether you watch the whole thing in its entirety or not. I appreciate you. It's over 100 views so far for today. I expect it to be more throughout the course of the time that is up. So I thank you. So, Gays and God, of course. I am gay. I was talking to a man of God on my views and how I felt and stuff like that. So I thought it came out pretty good. You know, I thought it came out pretty good. We waited a long time for it to actually premiere. The editing was crazy. I tried to, forgive me, it's not professional, it's not Hollywood, but I did edit it myself. We did not shoot the video ourselves.
We didn't shoot the video.
We
had an expert shooting the video.
We
so
had,
you
you know, but the editing, I tried to do it as best as possible, so I hope you still got what I was trying to bring across. It's, you know, just sitting in the church, feeling how you feeling, being who you are, and why you felt that way.
Well, some people have been posting up that it was great and they loved it. They loved it,
thank you.
and they commented on the YouTube page.
Yes, and I seen them comments, and I thank you. I think those are the ones that did comment. Two of them is like heartfelt, die hard, pretty dopest. So y'all probably is a little bit biased.
Right, I agree.
But you know, I appreciate, especially Angelica, like you took the time and you really got into depth with your comment and stuff like that. So I read it and I appreciate it. Nothing goes unnoticed. Mm-hmm. Nothing goes unnoticed. So what did you guys, that's the 28 of you guys that's on, if you seen the video, what did you think?
You didn't look shy at all. They don't think that you were shy, that you were nervous at all.
What?
Angelica has 100 hands up, like, you know, her hand claps.
I was so nervous. It's a part in there that I had to take out that I'm so nervous. I did some weird sound like I like, what the hell is that? So I took that part out, or the case may be, but I was so nervous. I saw it's actually one guy, Leandrew Wright, mm-hmm. who he's a pastor who I admire and respect, or whatever the case may be, and I seen him preach one time, and I really enjoyed myself, and I seen him at the same-sex church mm-hmm. that I went to. So he's one of the first pastors that I've seen in that type of environment, but his word was so powerful, and I remember him. I remember the experience, but I really remember him, mm-hmm. and he lives, I think, down south somewhere now. And I just finished telling Rosa and Diana, like, if he posts on Facebook or whatever that he's gonna preach somewhere, mm-hmm. I think
you would show up.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up. I think I'm gonna take that road trip.
What made you want to do that, and why now?
What made me want to do it? I think why now? Because I'm comfortable in my skin. That's number one. That's the why now. It's because I'm comfortable in my skin, and a lot of people are not. You mm-hmm. know, a lot of people that live same-sex lifestyles are not comfortable in their skin enough to be same-sex and serve, mm-hmm. and just believe, or just be a believer, or just be Christian in mm-hmm. itself, or whatever the case may be. So I think why not now?
Right.
Tomorrow's not promised.
I think that's good,
yeah.
And I think that it's a good. It's good, especially for right now in this climate, especially with the current situation as far mm-hmm. as like the COVID and people losing a lot of people. Is kind of forcing people back to the church mm-hmm. or to look for some type of safe place. And so I think that it was a good thing to do, because we do have a lot of people, as you pointed out when you asked the question to the bishop, which was something that I wanted to think about people being gay and serving in church and having to be comfortable, because I think, I know for sure that God loves us all.
Right.
And so I just think that this was necessary because it gave people the opportunity not to see from every church, but to see from his point of view, why it's okay and why you should feel okay, and that you could see conviction even in him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With the things that you're struggling with things, but the pastors are struggling with them also. You know what I mean? Dealing with membership or dealing with leadership in that and learning in a different way. And, me personally being able to see him grow, I think that it was really good.
Right.
So Simmons, she just posted that she has family members that are gay and heavy in the church, and they felt the same way. It was hard for them to love God and feel as if their prayers and worship was useless. And that's definitely not a God thing.
Right. I don't think and it's crazy, and that's heartbreaking, because when you have somebody who's gay and they heavy in the church, and you say it's hard for them to love God. I can't speak for them, but I don't think loving God was the hard part. The hard part was being accepted, not being condemned, because you love differently. And nowadays it's not really differently. You just love differently than the individual, who may be or may not be condemning you. Right.
And, I think that the loving God part, it's kind of, I don't want to say, like she said, I think it's hard for me to hear, because when you go to church or when you serve, you don't serve God because of other people,
right? So
to speak. So if I'm going to church, there are a lot of things about me that people don't like, that are different than a lot of people, especially a lot of women. If I went to church and I judged my ministry or judged my worship or my praise according to how people are, or how my experiences with people inside of the church may have been, then I would not serve God. So we don't serve God because of, or not serve God because of people, right? And if you choose to walk the Christian walk, as was pointed out in that video, we cannot mix conviction with condemnation, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So I think that when we go to church and we feel away sometimes, because it's just like you pointed out there too. I could go to church today and the preacher could be preaching, and I'm like, Dad, who told him?
Right.
I'm like, somebody, and I know and especially if I know you, my friend, and you work close with the pastor, I'm like, was she telling my business? Because this thing happens, and so that's what conviction is. You know what I mean? And sometimes you're walking into a situation where, sometimes God, he wants that. He wants you to feel convicted, and that's only telling him that you know and you understand what his word is created to do, or what created
and that's
to be.
also giving us the inkling that he's real. Right. You understand?
Right.
But and that's like somebody probably listening to me and be like, oh well, you saying that, give you an inkling that he's real. Then when the pastor was saying, back then I'm talking about, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, not talking to me, the individual, but just speaking in general about homosexuals. So he's real by saying that. The word is the word. I would never take nothing from it. But God is not hate, Right. So back then I felt like it was like hated. Right. Like, it made you feel like it was hated and that you were hated, the individual, that you felt like you were hated. Right. Like you can't be who you are, and the people who were who they were, like, God bless you, because it took a lot. It takes a lot now just to be different. No matter how many rights we may have and stuff like that, or how far we have come, it still takes a lot to be comfortable in your skin and still sit in the church and be a believer. Right.
And that's good. What? Ra'Asia. I don't want to call you Rashida. Ra'Asia. She said that she appreciated the pastor. He expressed that he has evolved. The message is the same, but he will definitely convey it in a way not to scare off the current and upcoming generation. And at least that's why that's what she got. And so that's a big thing. Just for me being a part of his ministry, I have actually watched with my own eyes the progression in it. I've experienced, or I've witnessed people being hurt, and I've witnessed people being delivered, saved from a multitude of things. But it's always been something for me to, I always want somebody to feel love. I never want people to be turned away from the church, because the church is a building and the people are in the building, and that is not why we go to church, and that is not why we gather. And so I think that that's important. And once you get to the point where you're able to sit through that, then you know that there's a clear and evident sign that you have your own personal relationship with God. Like, you're not going, because we're going to feel convicted, but once you mature in ministry, it's like after a while you're able to hear that and understand it and take what away from it what you should.
Yeah.
And it's just like people say, I could be in a room and they could be yelling at everybody. I take what applies to me. Right? So, we might all be sitting here, but if it don't apply to me, I let it fly. That's just how I am. But I think that after a while, once you start going and once you're maturing in the witnessing that you chose to serve, then, I think that it changes a little bit. Because if you're going to be a Christian, you can't be a Christian and just take what you want. You have to take everything that comes with it. You got to take everything that comes with it. But it's very important for us to be cognizant of how we deliver. Right. And that's in anything. Right. That's in anything, because, I don't think that if you're turning people away, that God is going to bless you more because you said something. Your delivery is very important. The way people receive is very important. And I think that that can determine what people hear. You know what I mean? Because the way I talk to you, I could be saying the right thing, but the way I say it to you, you're not
what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
All the time.
Right. And so you're responding to my reaction. So I love that, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because, like they said, I know plenty of people who are gay. One of my best friends are gay. I have, people in my family that are gay. We know people all over the world that are gay, and I never want anybody, not a gay person, not a straight person, not a mugger, a murderer. I don't want anybody to not feel loved. Exactly. You cannot judge your life, your ministry, or your relationship with God on the premise of other people. And so that's just what I am happy, that I see that.
Yeah, like Bishop said, we got to stop putting people in hell. Like, we don't have that authority to put them there.
The part of the dialogue when Shay spoke of how a person can feel they may like the same sex or without being physical. That's yeah.
I mean, it's real. It's real. It's definitely real. Like, people. It's this thin line with homosexuality or whatever the case may be. Like, people could be homosexual and be a virgin. You understand? But they still homosexual. Because it's not a thing. It's a feeling. It's like, it's how you feel. It's your way. It's just you. Because you could be hetero and be a virgin, and you never have to cross that line to know that you are who you are. So, it's just, I don't know. It's a thing. It's a feeling. It's not a thing.
But I liked when you said that, you said the part about people are called heterosexuals without having sex. So when you're born, it is assumed that you are a homosexual. Heterosexual. Yeah, it's assumed. So why can't a person know when they're young that they are?
I think with the females, they call them gold stars. A gold star is a female, a lesbian who has never been with a guy.
So it's a gold star, like that's a trophy or something. Like, what is a gold star?
Yeah, that means that you
for real. Like
you for real with it. You are a real homo.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. You gold star, like you a real homo.
Angelica pointed out, he who is sinless cast the first stone.
Can't nobody do that.
Yeah, so we all carry some sin.
I will walk outside this house right now, butt naked, and dare anybody to cast the first stone, because can't nobody do it.
Right. That's right. And I think that, it's easy for people to point out other people's indiscretions or other people's sin or other people's problems, but they have their own. And I think that that's what we have to always remember when we're dealing with people in everybody's situation, that you have your own sin. So worry about your own.
Right.
Don't be too focused on mine.
Right.
Love is love. What brings you into the state of bliss, which blossoms and blooms into and love feels right. Yeah, Rashonda, that's dope. I didn't see the video. I watched it after the show. My mom was gay, and I have relatives that are gay. Listen, we want you to watch it and also come back and comment.
Right.
We want you to
watch it, comment. You know, make sure you subscribe too, and just give us your feedback. Don't give us what you think we want to hear.
Right.
If you want to leave a comment that you feel like is near and dear to your heart. You know, either you agreed or you disagreed or how you feel. I may have left something out that somebody feels and, you know, I probably missed it. Or somebody got offended about something that either one of us said. Share it. Share your opinion. Y'all share your opinions on everything else.
And everything else, right.
You know, so share it. We are accepting and receptive to it. We want it. We want your opinion. I really want it because the conversation was it was personal for me, even though it's for the world to see. It was a real personal conversation,
right?
You know.
But again, one of the other things that I was thinking about is that, you know, a lot of times we look at the overall picture, right? But when I'm talking to you and I'm hearing from you because I know you, and maybe people don't know us, but you have to, like I tell people, sometimes I might make a mistake. I might say something wrong. I might do something wrong. I might act aggressively. I might be too withdrawn. All of those things I said to them, but you have to know the heart of the person, right? And so if there is something that you have done or maybe an action that you have taken, I know your heart, so I could be like, you know, and I would, when I say judge you, but I would judge you on that. Like, I know your heart, so I wouldn't take that. And so because I know the bishop, I know his heart. And so although I know what he was trying to do, I also know, because I knew gay people that were coming that were offended or they felt, I guess, overly convicted, I knew their heart. You get what I'm saying? So I just always try to tell the people, know the heart of the person. You know the person, and you know if it was ill will, if it was intended, you know, intended for it to be hurtful to you. And sometimes it may not have been that way, but it may have been received that way. And sometimes because you have been hurt in other places, you're so sensitive to everything. Like people can't say one thing to you without you being offended, and so it goes a long way. So just know the heart of the person.
But like he said, he was only, you know, he came a long way, and you know his message is the same. His delivery is different, and he was only doing what he was what he saw.
Yeah. It's a learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior. A
behaviors.
lot of things in life are learned behaviors, and we have to learn how to break them curses. You know, it's generational. You know, we have to learn how to break them, and it's crazy because it's like I was reading something on Instagram. Somebody I follow, for whatever reason, I follow them, and you know they speak about the Bible. And they speak about it like, oh, you know, this Bible was given to us by the white man. It was like given to slave this, slave that, this, that, and the third. Like, we need to come up with our own thing in our own way and this, that. And all right, it may have, but if you feel like you want to read the basic instruction before leaving Earth, Bible, that's the acronym. Like, read what it says, and you know, your beliefs is your beliefs. His beliefs is his beliefs, and the Bible is the Bible. Whoever reads the Bible and believes the Bible, that's what it is. Like, we can't start. I mean, it's interpretation.
I was gonna say
it's really interpretation at the end of the day, but you can't change love and make it hate.
Right.
I don't care who wrote it.
Right.
What book it come out of. You cannot do that. And I think for a long time, when it came down to homosexuals in the church, that's what it was. Like, they made, you know, how people love differently, it just turns it into something like hateful, you know?
Right. Well, again, interpretation is a big thing, and that's in anything. But to really be honest with you, like, the Bible is not a book that is written in simplicity. A lot of people read the Bible and they get their own interpretation of what it is and what it says. You know what I mean? They take from it what it is that they choose. That's why you need and if you notice, they have things called commentaries and and coordinates would help you put things together so you can understand. You got to really study, because something that you may think that could be physical, like they would say Jesus carried the pen, and you might think it meant that he was walking around with a pen like that, and it doesn't mean that.
How about this one? Come as you are.
Right. You know what I mean? So
people think that means come to church in a bikini, in a two-piece bikini.
Exactly.
Because Jesus said, "Come as you are."
So this is how I are. You know what I mean? Like,
no, come as you are. Come as your broken self.
Right.
Like if you are broken, come to Him with all that you have, not come to Him in a two-piece.
Right.
Like,
but people, this is their interpretation, and you have people who will be like, "Yeah, you know what you're right." They judge you in the church because you had on that mini skirt and your tatas all out. They shouldn't do that. Now, listen, we're going to welcome you, and I think that that's okay. You know, you come to church and you get that, you find that space, but you're going to find people, and there are people in church, and they're supposed to help you to be better. So I can come to church, and I may have that because that's all I have. But then you have that sister, that missionary, or that evangelist, or the mother of the church who is supposed to take the time to help you and to encourage you, to help you to see a better way. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like, come as you are, but don't
stay as you are.
Exactly.
And we always say, and I be like, listen now, come on now. And I had to learn that, please. I had to learn that too.
Yeah.
You just can't stay as you are. So
don't
I mean,
stay as you are.
Right. I think that this was good. It makes me feel good to, one, see you step out of the box. Two, that you were able to just do it off on your own.
Yeah, and I don't never talk about sexuality or whatever. I can talk about religion or whatever the case may be. I'm not like no Christian connoisseur. Like I can't tell you, I can't quote the Bible back and forth this and the third. But I can have a conversation because I can learn from a conversation. But sexuality is not something that I talk about. Like it is what it is. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. Like I don't wear my sexuality on my sleeve. It's personal.
Right.
Like it's personal. I wear the clothes that I wear because I'm comfortable in them clothes, you know. And I can speak about this now, like I said, because I'm comfortable in my skin now, like being grown, like, and just being accepted by my family and not having to hide from anyone, like anybody. So it's like, why not? Because somebody out there who's probably struggling, sitting in the church and, being a Christian or whatever faith they may be in and just being spiritual or whatever the case may be and struggling and want to talk about it and want to ask certain questions and want to know why. So I hope they, have the answers that, and if you don't, ask me and I'll ask him. And I'll ask him.
Asia, you pointed out something. I mean, it says less than 30 viewers. I guess it was a very touchy subject. Still a pretty dope conversation. Listen, we appreciate those of you who are sticking by us. I mean, it's social media and people are on when they're on and they respond to what they want to respond to. But what we do understand, especially about this topic, it is very touchy most people. And we notice that through our trying to market it, trying to, talk about it, trying to like introduce people to it. So, listen, we were ready for it. We asked you guys to, when you come on, to just share it to your page. Eventually, somebody's
going to look at it.
Yeah, somebody's going to look at it. Even if they're not on with us right now, they will look at it.
And whether they want to continue to look at it, they may just stay and listen to the conversation out of curiosity. We may watch a slave movie that we really don't care about, or we really don't want to see, like our people went through this, but we'll stick it out to the end so we can get knowledge on it, so we can talk about what happened and stuff like that. But people just don't want to. It's kind of frustrating in a way.
It is,
because it's like, yeah, we got a pretty dope conversation. We got this dope ass group where, we got almost 1,900 followers and stuff like that, and you can get 200 comments on should my baby daddy sign a lease for my baby mother or something like that, like a meme. You can get 200 comments and 500 likes on a meme, but a conversation that's going to probably help somebody else, nobody wants to nobody wants to respond to it. And it's not like, respond anyway. Like, y'all so controversial with, like, I don't want to say dumb shit, but y'all controversial with regular, just everyday topics that we allow to be posted. but y'all don't say nothing when it takes the time and effort to go to somebody's studio, to get them to donate their time to film it, and y'all say nothing. It's frustrating sometimes. So.
It is. I just want to point out this thing because I don't want to go past your comment that you're talking about living in your truth. And so Simmons put not living in your truth is a disservice to yourself and the ones that you love. So once the comments go up too much, then I'll forget and then I won't be able to do it. So I apologize for cutting in. But then Rashonda, she pointed out something. She was like, the best are here. And so the people who stick with you through the groundwork are the people that you want to take note of. And whoever's here, like she said, they're the best of the best, and I do understand that. And Lisa Wilson said that there's a big difference between acceptance and tolerance. I think people don't expose their real core and beliefs, and that's the truth. I think that I could agree with that.
Nari Cooper, she says people gravitate towards negative issues more, and it's true. Everybody want to be, laughing and joking and stuff like that. But top of the year, we coming with real topics. Everything's not gonna be fun and games, and we're not gonna talk about the twerking in a restaurant, or what's your favorite song from back in the day, and you got $5, build a man. Like we're not doing. Right. We gonna touch on real topics.
You know what? The thing that I just had a conversation with one of my friends today on my way here. I got lost.
She got lost.
How you get lost and you live around here? Like I was totally lost and late. But it's the saying that goes, if you're the smartest person in your group, that you need to get a new group. I want to add to that, if you are the most successful person in your group and nobody else is climbing or growing, then you need to get a new group. So we understand that we're gonna start in this at this state. But if it's just not working, it's just not working. But we're not gonna stop. So this platform can be what it is, and if we don't see that it's doing what we needed to do, there are other things that we can do. So
it's crazy that you said that, because like today I was driving home from the doctor or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, even though this is once a week, it's a lot that once a week, it's easy just to put up a post and talk to y'all, through, social media and stuff like that. But to really take the time out and half the time we don't have notes. Like she got her book there and stuff like that, but it's not like she didn't go with notes or whatever the case may be. So it's like, sometimes it's because it's real life. Real life goes on for the both of us. So it's like, sometimes you just don't have time, but we make the time every Tuesday at 7 p.m. or before, because we here prior to come out and entertain you guys. But it's like, I was like, oh, I'm tired. Probably want to go back to every 2 weeks. But then I think about that pastor who starting his or her church, and their congregation is only 2 people, and they stick it out. So that's what I'm willing to do.
Yeah, we're gonna stick it out. First of all, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that she sticks it out, because I need her by my side.
Cause she knows, she be like, we going on to that. I be like, no.
And this is not something that I am at all comfortable with doing. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's something that's necessary. Even just talking about this topic, it was necessary. Like, I feel like that was necessary for her. This is necessary for me, because when God is trying to do something with you and with your life, He's going to put you in uncomfortable positions and uncomfortable situations, and you either going to fight or you're going to flight. Right. And I don't run. You know that we're not known to be that. So.
I've been in a shootout.
Right. Listen.
I wasn't the shooter or the shootee.
The shootee. I've been shot at in front of my mother. You know what I mean? So, things happen, but we don't turn. He's joking because she's playing with him. So, we don't turn the other cheek very easily. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna stick it out. And again, when the new year comes, there's gonna be new conversations. It's gonna be, just new dialogue. And so we want you guys to stick with us. And then if not, we're gonna just get a new group of people.
Right. We have a new background coming too, a new backdrop. We gotta come out. I just keep forgetting to pick it up.
Yeah, that's it. So we just gonna move on. Like, you know, listen, I know I have a sweatshirt that says I'm not for everybody, and I understand that. I've accepted that. So we may not be for you. There may be another group for you. Listen, it's entertaining and it's fun and it keeps you guys going. But you have to understand too. It's just like in a relationship, right? It doesn't work one way. You know, we need your feedback, we need your content, and I think that it's important. And so this, to me, I just want to go back to it because I mean, we worked a long time. This was a topic for a long time.
It's been the topic since day one.
Right. And I think that you accomplished that. Like, and that to me, I applaud that. I'm happy about it. I'm happy that I got to be a part of that. Not only that, the ministry that I'm a part of got to be a part of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm excited, you know, because here's the thing. What would you do if your child came home and said that they were gay?
And you were Christian in the church. What would you do?
What would you do?
Like,
you know what I mean? So
a lot of people would fake the funk, as my Aunt Wanda, who's watching, would say. Like, a lot of people would fake the funk and give us the political answer.
Which is what y'all do all the time.
Yeah, that you would have on Facebook or whatever the case may be. But what would you do? Me, and this is real, me being who I am and living in my skin, I don't want none of my kids to live this life.
And it's not because, I don't think it's because, you know, the life itself. I think it's because of what they have to deal with.
What they have to deal with. Right. You know, I don't want the scrutiny and the especially with me being me. Oh, you like that because your mother made you that way and this and the third. I grew up around nothing but heteros. You know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't put in front of me. You can't make somebody one way or another, or whatever the case may be. So, me personally, I can say I would not want this life for my child.
Well, just remember what happened with Kevin Hart. You better watch what you say.
It is what it is.
I'm only kidding.
Come for me, because if they come for me like they if they come for me like they came for Kevin, we doing something. We doing something. Come for me.
For real. But see, like for me, like I tell my kids and anybody that's connected to me, you know, it doesn't matter how I feel. It matters how you feel because you have to live it. And so I could accept it or I could not accept it. You know, it's not about me, because no matter how many people accept it, if you don't feel confident in it, if you don't accept it, if you're not okay with it, no matter what anybody else feels, it's not going to make it any better for you. Right. So the first step is for you to accept, you know, that this is your lifestyle, this is who you are, or whatever that is. And once you're able to do that, all I can do is respect it. It's not my job to try to change you. I am not a changer. I mean, some people call me Olivia Pope because they call me a fixer. I've been called Charlie, like from Charlie's Angels.
Olivia Pope.
You know what I mean? But you know, I cannot change you. Okay, right? Listen, we have another member, and he wants to get on my lap, but he's so heavy. You can't just pick him up. Benji is big as me. If I put him in my chair, it's over. It's over.
Relax.
Yeah, my child denied it, but me being the parent, I approached it with the good. Yeah, and you know what? We know. But the only reason why children, I think people deny it is because of what other people think.
Right.
It's because of what other people make them feel. Hi, Charlie.
And it's crazy because a lot of people, when I first started, you know, knowing myself and stuff like that, and you know, dealing with females and stuff, and people not liking it, it's like it clicked to me. What don't you like? Like, why you don't
pin it? Because
when people see me, you see just two right. I could be dating you. They'll never know. I've never been a person to show public displays of affection and stuff like that. I'm not walking down the street doing all of that and stuff. That's not me. So for you to know me and to know who I deal with, and you be like, oh, you don't like it. You don't like it because you're trying to figure out what goes on behind closed doors. Stay out my room.
Right. And here's the thing. Let me tell you something. It's such a catch-22. I was making that face because I want you to hug me, kiss me, hold me, do all that in public.
I'm not doing none of that.
I want you to kiss me. I'm gonna hold your hand when we go outside.
Don't even touch me.
She don't want me to touch her at all, and I'm not even dating her. Okay. But I think that's cute. Hold on, I want to read Simmons' post. she said that she would love them. People always say that what they would do until they're in that situation. And anyone out there living in a secret, come out and you'll see who loves you. Leave those behind who don't. And that's the truth. We always say that you do not know until you actually in it.
Yeah.
Until you actually in it. That's the truth. That's definitely the truth.
I felt like for a long time, like before, I think it was a little before my mother passed or whatever, I was telling her I was getting married. And she acted like she was having a whole heart attack. Like, oh my goodness. You told your father this, that, and the third? No, I didn't tell him. Did he tell me he was getting married? Like, no, or whatever. I'm telling her, did you tell Trayvon? Did you do this? Did you do that? Having a whole conniption. I didn't feel like, throughout the years, I felt like, she knew and stuff, and it was certain things that she would say to me that I didn't like, that, you just shouldn't say to your child, and, that thrown in the face, it's just certain things that she shouldn't have said that she said. And a lot of parents are like that. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's a learned behavior, it's what they used to, and, they grew up a certain way, and you're not supposed to be this way, and this, that, and the third. But now we're talking about, to go back to the main topic, gays and God. Being homosexual, you a sinner, or whatever. The biggest sinner in the world. But here it is, my brother committed suicide. Mm. Now, my mother only had 2 kids. She had me, and she had him. She got one who committed a sin and can't ask for forgiveness. And she got another one who sinned daily and can repent daily. Mm. You understand? And it's like, you don't love him no less. Not that she loved me any less, but the feeling I felt, it's like, you ain't judging him, not even in his death. So why me? Why me? Mm-hmm. So it took me a long time to say, hey, I'm getting married. It's not, and that wasn't, I guess, if you want to say the coming out the closet, because people who know me know how I feel. Like, I don't believe in that come out the closet stuff. Ain't nobody in no closet,
She just said that your mother wanted you to wear a wedding dress.
She did, and I didn't. She did, and I didn't.
That was cool. I would love to see. Can you just do it? Let me say, I don't understand. We're gonna do one of these glam things. This one right here glams up, so don't even get it twisted, because she will probably knock a lot of people out the box when she glams up.
Okay, my aunt. I don't know whether she's at work.
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly spread it. She pinned it. It's right there. I was gonna read it.
Yo, so my aunt Wanda. She says, "Damn, Skippy peanut butter and jelly spread it on the Wonder Woman brand. Don't pick the funk. All right. Love is love. Period.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
Yes,
yo.
We love that. I think that this was good. I love it. And I hope that this helps you guys, or you guys get a little bit more comfortable with talking about it. I hope it helps you more identify with some things, because sometimes what's not said is hurtful as well.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? So sometimes with you not wanting to recognize, I think it was Brown, Sophia Brown, who pointed that out. Like, with your kids are trying to hide it, or the person is trying to hide it because they don't feel like they're going to be accepted.
Right.
Most
not
people,
comfortable.
Right. Most people, especially the youth, they run away from home. They separate themselves. They find people who they feel comfortable around, and that they feel like their family, and that's why they vacate. And it's because they're not allowed to have expression. And again, listen, I don't condone anybody doing whatever it is that God is against, but it's my job to help you, and to help you feel loved, and help you feel and help educate you, to help you get a better understanding. It's not my job to make you feel any way. So don't think that you being silent and ignoring it is the answer either. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not saying to make it an argument. If you need help, get help. Talk with somebody about it to help your kid, because it's too many suicides. It's too many, just excessive drug use that people do to kind of self-medicate to kind of, take away pain and do things like that. Because it's just like kids with gangs. They say that they go to the gangs because they feel like they need a family, or they feel like they need acceptance. Right. And so we want to try to prevent that. This is really, really, really a touchy topic. So those of you who have stayed in, and we see that we have kind of generated a couple of more people, and I'm happy with that as well. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think
it was easy for my daughter to come out to me because of the way she knew me. She knew I would never judge her, and that's important.
That's good. That's good stuff.
I love you, Dawn. I love you. Love you. Love you.
And I think as parents, we gotta not judge our kids or whatever, especially when they're not doing nothing. They're not committing no crimes. Like we gotta support them in ways that they need to be supported. And a lot of us do not do that.
Let me point out something to you too that I notice about a lot of, especially about gay youth, gay kids coming up, the young adults, right? If you notice, a lot of them are creatives, right? Most gay people are creative. They're very successful. Most of the top people in these top industries are gay men and women. That's because they're overachievers. They work hard to kind of step outside of that box, but they fail at mental and emotional wealth and health. Most of those people who are experiencing that lifestyle and who they walk that walk, they have a lot of things like depression that they deal with. They deal with anxieties. They deal with acceptance. If you pay attention, those are things that we can help them with. I don't feel like depression and anxieties was at such a high level when we were younger because we paid more attention.
But it's crazy that you mention them things because not for nothing ain't no time like the present. But me again, knowing who I was back then, not knowing what all this frustration I had, this anger I had, this silence that I had. My first suicide attempt was at the age of 10 years old.
You see? And listen to what she's saying. Like this is what I'm trying to say. You have to pay attention to what people are saying, what they're doing, their actions. Because she said my first suicide attempt, not her only. So that tells you that there were several. And so just think about the people that are around you, your children, the ones that you are ignoring, that you are downplaying, that you are belittling, whatever. Just imagine what they're dealing with. If she just said, which is the first time that I've known her for so long, never heard her say that before, and she said my first time was at 10. That's important. You got to pay attention. Greg Austin, my daughter is gay, and we've always had a transparent relationship. I made myself a comfortable zone that she can always reside in, and that's important. That's important.
Beautiful.
Nobody else accepts
that's
me.
Beautiful.
I know I could go home. I know who to call. You know what I mean? You have to pay attention.
You need that. If your job doesn't accept you, if your friends don't accept you, if your church don't accept you, you need home to accept you.
Right.
It starts in the home. Everything starts in the home.
Right.
Our thoughts and our beliefs, it starts in the home.
Right.
So if nothing else works out for you, you need to know where you can go back to.
Mm-hmm. And the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and he shall never depart from it, right? So you have to train them up. Like, give them that foundational piece. Give them that support. Give them that love. Give them that absolute reassurance that no matter what, no matter where you are, that, what is it? Home is where the heart is, and your heart is where the heart. But just like Greg said, I think that that's exceptional and it's important. And it's just like anything. It's just like in any relationship. If you feel like you're an adult and you're in a relationship, with your mate, right? And you need these things. Why do you think that a kid needs any less?
Right. And we grown as people.
That's right.
Grown as people, and we need certain type of attention.
Yeah. So you know that and today, I'm telling you right now, if you didn't pay attention to them before, these kids that are coming up right now today, they need more than I've ever seen. I couldn't even imagine.
I think it's more.
Raise my kids now.
I think now it's like, okay, the first suicide attempt at the age of 10. You know what happened after that suicide attempt?
Nothing.
No, I got a beating.
You got a beating?
Not a beating. I got in trouble because I ain't never get a beat. I got a beating one time in my life, but I got in trouble. Little body slam type, Bitch, you wanna kill yourself? I'll kill you first. Like,
That's a black mentality.
Yes.
We're gonna beat you.
So it's like, I got that instead of what's wrong?
Mm-hmm. Why did you do that? What happened? How can I help you?
What's wrong? Like,
Lane said kids have feelings too, and people forget that. You know, it's like, you're a kid. Yeah, listen.
They
listen,
do have
start from
feelings.
somewhere.
Even though I'm a strong believer, a child needs to stay in a child's place and be seen, not heard, depending on the situation.
Right.
You know, depending on the situation. Again, it's that thin line between, you know, letting a kid be a kid and a kid doing too much, and I don't know. Good talk. Good talk.
Yeah. I think. Do you guys feel sorry for us? Does this feel like real solemn? Because I feel like y'all quiet and it's still like scary. Or is it that, like me, you're trying to hear from Shay like a different part of her, like she's being able to express a part,
being a little bit transparent. You know,
Yeah.
I'm being probably a little bit more open than I ever been with people. Not
the
the
world,
not
right now.
the world, not with my, you know, my therapist that I used to see. You know that dude, I, you know, lay it all out on the line, you know, until he asked me that one question, and I cut his ass off. But I don't know. I'm just being me today. In this day and age, me right now, Shay at 40, Shay can only be Shay. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. I can only be me, you know, and I just got to live my truth. You know, I'm not perfect, and nobody walks this earth is.
Right. And Dawn Hill, just for the record, Dawn Hill Wilson is actually our Bishop Darrell Hill's sister. So I just want you guys to know that she's in the building, and I love her.
Hey.
She's my boo thing, but don't mess with her, child, because, you know, her and Pinky, they best friends. I'm just going to leave it at that. She said, hold on, you have to make it comfortable for your kids to come and talk to you about whatever, no matter what, you know, and show them love no matter what. So, you know, I think that that's important. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm glad that my children are grown, because I don't know the things that these kids are dealing with now that we deal with. And, you know, with me at work, I'm a peer counselor, you know, and it doesn't just work only with like the agents or officers. I find myself doing it with kids too. When I was, you know, dealing with buildings or inside of a building a lot, you find yourself counseling these kids and you're hearing things like, "What? Tell your mother." Because if my daughter or my son come and tell me something, y'all better watch out. It's like, listen, I don't even know if I can get any more angry if you do anything. I can take a lot of things to be being done to me, but when it comes to my kids, it couldn't be. And what these kids are dealing with today, it's just terrible. So I'm just, you know, asking you guys to make sure you pay attention and you know just listen to your kids, not through their words, through their actions, through their eyes, through their expressions. You know, you have to pay attention to that. Okay, so Angelica has something. This is gonna be the last thing that I read because I don't have my glasses and y'all testing me right now. Okay, I can't do it. Okay, being raised in the church, there wasn't a lot of people outright showing that they were gay. I remember 2 people, and at a young age, I didn't understand. I just knew they were different. One of the men was a good friend, and when he passed from AIDS, it was put into our minds that this is what happens when you go against God and you want to sleep with the same sex. It took time for me to understand that people are people. I'm not condemning anyone against God's will. I'm not condoning anything against God's will, like Bishop said. It's about winning souls and helping them with their struggles after. And let me tell you something. People think that AIDS is a gay disease.
That was the whole thing too.
Yeah.
They like kind of correlated the two.
Yeah.
You know, you gay, you get AIDS. You gay, you go to hell. Like,
keep thinking that if you want to. Keep thinking that if you want. And let me talk. I wanted to talk about because this is a contradiction. Is it a contradiction or what did I call it? Anyway, I'm gonna point this out. I noticed that a lot of men, right, they are okay with 2 women being together, especially if they're together with them. But if it's a man being together, 2 men being together, or maybe 2 women being together and they're more aggressive, then they have a problem with that. What is that? What did I call it? I can't remember. You know what I'm saying. You know. It's like you will condone this, but you won't condone that. It's called something, and I said it before and I forgot. Greg, where are you? You're supposed to back me up. But you know what I mean? I just feel a double standard. Thank you, Angelica. See, there we go. I said it before. I couldn't remember right now. But people, you know, you like what you like for what you like it for. And that's just the bottom line. That has to do everything with church, and it has to do with real life. So it's the same thing with that. You like what you like as long as it benefits you or it affects you in a positive way. And that's the same thing that goes with church and it goes with ministry. You can't like what you like when it's good for you.
Right.
And then the thing that challenges you or the thing that convicts you, you hate it because of that. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? So that's my takeaway from that. So what's your takeaway?
My takeaway is love is love. You know, let love do its
Me
thing.
either, she
you know, what she think?
I cannot be with a gay man. That's not gonna work for me.
Okay.
Me either. I can't be with a gay man.
I mean, they probably can't be with
I
you
don't think you
either.
can be with us either.
Yeah, they
Sheila,
probably
but
can't
I
be
know
with
what
you
you're
either.
saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so my takeaway is like, listen, love is love. You know, let love do its thing, and let's us, the people here on earth, we are not our higher power. Stop condemning. Stop putting people in hell. Start loving on our kids even more. You know, vibe check with them. You know, love on them. You know, if they gay, straight, or artistic, whoever they may be, accept them, because home is where the heart is. Let them have a safe space. They shouldn't have to go outside the house and have a safe space.
Right.
They safe space should be wrapped in your bosom. You know, you should be they safe space. Whether you they mother, they aunt, they sister, they cousin, like make their safe space with you, so they won't have to go and do so many effed up things out there. And stuff.
I'm sorry. They say gay people are going to hell, but they don't say that women in church that sleeping with married pastors go there. Listen, it's not about sleeping in church. It's just either way. And we're going to have a conversation about that. We're going to have a conversation about that because I think that, listen, I was a married woman, right? And I understand. And, people don't want to be honest. And since that came up, let's just point it out. Okay, so I'm not making it right that people sleep with other people, but I was married. And I understand that marriages are just what that is, a marriage on paper, right? It's a marriage on paper. And you can say, oh, well, he was married, but you ain't loving your husband. You ain't doing right for your husband. You don't love your husband until your husband want to love somebody else. So we want to be very, 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 very clear when we have those conversations. We can have a conversation. And I'm not saying that it's right, again. And it's just not women, because men are doing the same thing.
That's
it's not in church, it's out church. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be another topic. But let's be clear, because I know. Right, I was there, and I wasn't going to get mad when my husband, if he was going to be with somebody else. Because you know what? I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do as a woman. It takes a mature and a grown woman to look at it and say, you know what? I wasn't doing that. So I'm not going to get mad when he's happy somewhere else, when I wasn't making him happy from the beginning. So be clear. And let's just really be clear.
Right.
Because I'm not going to do that. Like, I know people, I've been in a situation myself, and I'm not going to sit here and, act like I don't know the truth. Because there's truth behind that.
Again, ain't no sin bigger than the next one.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. Like, and that's not only in church. That's all I wanted to point out.
That's all over.
And again, I can't say anything about somebody else's sin because I got my own. You know what I mean? But the truth is the truth. You know?
But that's our time, people. I thank you. Don't forget to go to YouTube, subscribe, watch, and share Gays and God, and check out a few of our other videos that we have up there. Again, I'm Shay Means. This is my girl
D-Mac,
and we are a pretty dope conversation. I didn't see you next week.
Later.
Hey.